So here we are, game number 1 of this best of 3, and spawning down in the lower left hand position, representing XMG, we have Socke. And to the top left, his Terran opponent, representing Mouse Sports, it is HeroMarine. They're battling out on Deadwin, a medium-sized map with some cool little graphics. I love these glow-in-the-dark green bits. I haven't had a chance to look at all the maps tons because I was away last week in Germany, so I haven't actually been able to look at the maps until this evening. But well, it's a pretty cool map. Obviously, you've got your standard natural location, except with a little bit of a twist. You've got some rocks coming into your natural. You've also got a second entrance to your third, but your third has also got 2 sets of rocks that can get into that through this little back path here. It is all pretty damn funky. Third base should therefore be relatively easy to take. You've also got a fourth that's fairly easy to secure as well. So actually, as a player, you can quite happily contain this sort of choke and get up to 4 bases relatively quickly. That makes this a really macro-orientated map if needed. Anyway, aside from that, in terms of openings, we just got Socke and HeroMarine both just chilling, both just having a bit of a nice time. They could be going for some very early economic base builds. It looks like they are both going to be going for that expansion first opening. CC on HeroMarine's side, Nexus first over on Socke's side. This, of course, is a vertically symmetrical map. So it's all flipped through the middle here. No, it's flipped through. Which way is it flipped? I'm confused. I've confused myself. Oh dear. Basically, it's flipped one way or the other. But there's 2 watchtowers, so that makes me think it's horizontally flipped. Yeah, it is. It's horizontally flipped. That's what it is. No, vertically flipped. That way. The left is the same as the right. My brain is literally so confused. My girlfriend is laughing at me. You're probably laughing at me. My door's open, so anyone outside is probably laughing at me, just getting very perplexed. Anyway, enough about all of that and more about some good stuff. Barrackses. Barracks are being made, and that means Marines are going to be made. They're both expanding, so it's going to be more of a macro game. We've got gases coming down from Socke. Everything is just going quite hyperactive. By everything, I mean me, trying to cover up the fact that I got really confused by how reflection works. But as we still keep checking around, HeroMarine goes for the first scout. We've also got Socke moving out. They're both checking the close by ground positions because, of course, this bit is super scary. Am I only the one who loves these things? Like, I don't even know what they are. Someone, either in Twitch or if you're watching on YouTube, in the comments, do you know what this is meant to be? If you do, tell me, and I will be so grateful. I really want to know what that thing is. Anyway, natural base is down for both. We've got the first Zealot coming out now for Socke. He's also adding in the cybernetics core. Banked up a good amount of gas, so could go into some tech super quick. Otherwise, just chilling about, adding in some more probes, chrono boosting them like bonkers, and this is all good. Third barrack coming in for HeroMarine, so he's pumping out a lot of Marines. All of them are heroes to him, and that means that he's going to be quite secure against a little poking and prodding. If there is a Stargate, he's going to have plenty of time to get out a whole host of Marines in order to defend against Oracle harassment or anything like that. Although for the moment, we're still not seeing any giveaway, although I suspect we're about to get one with this probe conveniently placed next to a building, ready to produce something. Build it, probe. Build it. Do it. There we go. It's a robo. Okay, so no Stargate, just a little bit of robotic facility. This could be a quick tech up into Colossi. Could also be a good little run up into... it could be some Immortals, going for a little push there. But most likely, probably just going to get some Observers out and then try and tech up into those Colossus very fast. Socke sent a couple of probes on a little bit of a mission. Not quite sure where they were off to, but he is going to secure control of this watchtower to the left here. And that is all good because it's obviously close by vertical positions. And so holding this, Socke knows that he's going to be able to see any potential move out from HeroMarine. Worth noting that this pylon is also super important because drops would be very good on this map. There's quite a nice avenue to come in this side, get into the main base, a long way away from the ramp. Do note. So, because the ramp's down here, if you have units in your natural and then you get dropped up here, it's going to take you a long time to get up to deal with that. So that pylon, very important. May even see a supply depot or something come down there later on from HeroMarine. Now, what's quite interesting is HeroMarine decided to go for the Reaper. Gonna be just getting a little bit of scouting information out here. Let's take a look at where's the Reaper's potential paths. Okay, there is a little ledge here. I didn't notice that immediately. So can bounce on up, get in and get a little bit of scouting information. Going Going to be very important. There's also not really much in the way to get back there instantly. Those Stalkers not in a great position. Not going to be seen until the Reaper's already in the probe line. Not actually shooting at anything yet, but I suspect it's about to start. May see some Stalkers coming back, change his mind, run away. One for the hills and far away now. Yoodly, yoodly, yoodly. Am I the only one who knows that song? I've just realised I've completely lost the plot in this cast. I've just gone slightly crazy, but probes still alive, no Reaper kills there, so just a little bit of scouting. What did it see? It saw the robotics base, saw the robotics facility, knows all of that, and also knows there's 2 additional gateways there. Double Forge is also coming down now, so this is a very, very upgrade and tech focused build coming down from Socke. HeroMarine adding in the starport, adding in that factory with a reactor on it. That's going to switch over to start that medevac production stim on its way, combat shield on its way, and a 3rd base also on its way. So these 2 playing out Deadwing just as it should be. Ultra, ultra, ultra macro focused. It's so easy to get up all of these bases, and they know it, so they're not looking to engage anytime soon. Both players pumping out a huge amount of SCVs and probes. Good little bit of scouting coming down from Socke as well. His observer came in, saw everything that he'd want to. Sees just a single engineering bay. That's not too crazy. Double upgrades don't normally start early on for Terran. Usually it's +1, then the armory and 2nd engineering bay, and then the 2-1 gets started. So no super rush. Obviously the plus infantry attack, the most important thing. Do have a little bit of poking and prodding here. One Marauder going to be trying to chase some of this down. One Lone Marine keeping an eye out on a potential 3rd base location to see whether or not it is getting taken. The other 3rd, of course, checked by all of these units, but a small little move in going to be coming forward now from HeroMarine. Does need to be careful because there is, of course, the Colossus there. That's going to get a lot of damage down. Stim away. No medevac support means that Stim's very, very costly to HeroMarine. So he's just backing out of this. Realize he can get chased down and just doesn't want to go for it. He's just like, nah, let's run out of this. Let's get to safety. So otherwise, not too much else is coming on yet. We've just got, obviously, +1 coming through, completed, and +1 armor for infantry also on its way. 3rd Nexus getting started up now by Socke. So he's looking to just continue on this macro train into the late game. But is he going to be able to? Because this is quite a annoying push coming in from HeroMarine now. Those 2 medevacs, and of course, a decent amount of infantry with +1, with stim, with combat shields, and concussive shells. This 3rd Nexus is the target. 2 Colossi, though, stand in the way, and they're very scary things to be trying to push up against with infantry. Medevacs pull back. We do have one loaded up, potentially looking to drop up into this natural, but already in preparation for that, we see the 2 photon cannons have been begun there by Socke, so he is able to just try and block that out if at all possible. Now, waiting to see where and when the next move is made, because with the 3rd coming up, it gets quite scary for HeroMarine, because Socke is going to have so much production very, very quickly, and he's been pretty much undisturbed in his overall teching so far, and he did take some very greedy tech moves early on. He went for an incredibly quick robotic facility into that very, very fast robotics bay and that super fast 3rd, so he's in a nice spot overall in terms of this game going along. He's also getting ahead in upgrades. He's got 1-1 with 2-2 on its way. Chrono boosts probably going to start getting spent on those as well. Meanwhile, it's just the single engineering bay down for HeroMarine. That means he's going to have 1-1 done shortly, but 2-2's already well on its way, as I said, so Socke getting a good upgrade advantage. HeroMarine also is going to struggle to get drops down because there is great observer placement. In total, there are 3 observers on the map. They are just blocking any avenue in from HeroMarine's base, able to keep a good close eye on drops or any slight army movements. Just keeping a good check on things is always going to be beneficial. HeroMarine just sending one marine forward now. Doesn't seem to have noticed these observers as of yet, nor he may not care. A couple of zealots coming in. Concussive shells will slow them on their retreat. One goes down. Unfortunately, the Colossi coming through. Good bling forward here by Socke, taking a little bit of initiative there. Able to snipe down a few units and chase the rest away, forcing yet another stim. Socke adding in more gates, adding in that Templar Archives. He's ready to go up into getting some Archons and also Storm. But that's not going to be done before this Viking fleet is going to be shelling away at those Colossi. And this is the scary moment. The Viking count is only at 7 up against 4 Colossus, but that's still 7 more Vikings than Socke thought were on the field yet. course, this is all coming down of these 2 starports, so medevac production is still continuing, and that's really important because it means that there is the opportunity to lose a couple if necessary. Charge, about to finish up. The 2-2 upgrades have completed for Socke up against 1-1 of HeroMarine. That gives him a fairly decent upgrade advantage. It's about half an upgrade up overall, so that's a good little opportunity window, especially if chrono boosts keep coming down on these 2 forges. It's going to really help enhance that advantage. Waiting now to see when and if HeroMarine decides to chance his luck. Is taking a 4th base behind this, however, maxed out, needs to try and achieve something overall. Throws down a scan, takes a little look. We'll see the 2 High Templar coming through. But bear in mind those High Templar don't have Storm at the moment, so they can only become Archons, they can only feed back Medevacs. The Viking count is also getting pretty high, 12 of them now on the field, and that's really going to help shred through those Colossi pretty damn quick. This may look like a bit of a horrible punishment for HeroMarine's units there, but he's actually freeing up supply because he wants to add in some ghosts. He wants those EMPs, he wants those snipes ready to shut down the High Templar when they start causing a bit of a problem. +1 vehicle and ship weapons just kicked in for HeroMarine, as well as the 2-2 infantry upgrades coming through as well. So his Vikings gonna pack a little more bang for the buck, and his ground units now matching out on what Socke's got. But remember, Socke has got 3-3 on its way. It's chrono boosting, and it is getting pretty close to finished. Socke moves forward, loses a Stalker in the process, but does get a little look at the army composition of HeroMarine. Another scan coming down now from HeroMarine, who is just about to complete up his 4th base. Getting another 1 base advantage, at least until it gets started up for Socke, but it could be a fair way off yet. This base is a bit harder for Socke to hold. He needs to be forward out in this position where it exposes him to a good large concave. Going to be very interesting to see when and if this engagement comes down. HeroMarine is going to be going for it. He moves in. A couple of EMPs are going to hit the mark. The Vikings shredding through a lot of those Colossi, but the infantry being forced to pull back. The Stalker count very, very low, not able to pick off these Vikings particularly quickly, and that means all of the Colossi will now fall. That leaves the infantry very, very strong. All of the Vikings died, and that's actually ideal, as strange as it sounds, because it frees up supply for that remax on whatever HeroMarine wants. But back at home, he's got Zealots attacking his natural base, or his 3rd base rather. More command centers coming in there, so that's not going to act as too much of a problem. Now, the important thing about the Vikings dying is they can be remade, but all of the Colossi dying are going to take a heck of a long time to reproduce. There's only that single robotic facility, so that's 1 Colossus per 75 seconds. 2 more robos trying to come through, but they're a long way off, and HeroMarine has taken a 40 supply advantage, all of which is in that army supply tab. So, moving forward now with this infantry, chasing down a couple of Archons, going to be able to pick those off very, very easily. 1 goes down, the second one going to get quite low. Vikings still in an okay position, but 1 gets sniped off as the only one currently with this army. A few force fields are going to be able to isolate a group of infantry, but a quick turn and re-engage from HeroMarine signals the retreat from Socke. Overall, resources lost, slightly more going down on HeroMarine's side actually, but with that equal worker count and the benefit of mules, it means he's got a stronger income to fall back upon in order to resupply with. 3 Colossi being produced at a time, and HeroMarine is going to have to replicate the success he had in that last big engagement where he was able to take out all of those Colossi pretty soon, because the Colossus count is absolutely skyrocketing. Worth noting though, Storm hasn't been researched from the Protoss player, so there's only Archons here, no real threat of Storms coming through, and that means Vikings can reign supreme. Also means that these 2 ghosts are more than enough. They can EMP, the snipes, they aren't really needed. You don't need that many ghosts unless there's a lot of High Templar with Storm threat. So all in all, this makes the army composition for HeroMarine a bit simpler to do. Distraction play coming through here. He's looking to push up into this 4th while dropping a triple drop into the main base. How is Socke going to respond to this? Well, he moves down the side, tries to pin in this army, but it's also drawing his main force out a long way. Down comes this triple drop into the main base, and this is really splitting up Socke's army, so Socke's going to go for this. Moving forward, chasing down this force, but it means he's going to have to pull back some of these Stalkers. The Stalkers won't fare that well up against this quite high count of Marauders. The Hellbats there as well. Sheer numbers will mean that Socke is able to trade okay there, but he loses a lot of Zealots in the process, which are not really expensive at this stage of the game up on these 4 bases. But HeroMarine he did show that he's able to think outside the box. He's going to be trying to drop, trying to force that multi-prong, and this could influence the positioning and decision-making of Socke in the future. Will he want to move out? Will he want to really split up his army when the threat of those drops is still there? Little poke and prod. The Vikings going to be trying to take down these Colossi, but the Archon splashing air, dealing a great bit of damage, forces the retreat from HeroMarine again, who now is losing a decent chunk more resources. About 2,500 more goes down for our Terran player compared to Socke. 4 bases up and running though for HeroMarine, 4 bases up and running for Socke, and they're both going to be looking towards 5th. These are the realistic 5th bases to take. Obviously knocking down these rocks would be helpful, but for the most part, they just want to be able to hold this position around the center as best they can. Potential engagement going to be coming in here. We've got Socke going on the aggressive. A couple of EMPs go down the Vikings, shredding through the Colossi at the back, but lots still standing. The infantry of HeroMarine starting to just melt away. The Vikings all get taken down, and this is a devastating loss for HeroMarine. Socke pushing forward. His Colossi stand. There's no Vikings between them and success at the moment, and that is going to be a scary thought for HeroMarine. He's got to back on out. He's got to be very careful. Down goes one of these orbital commands, but that's not a big loss. The time warp is going to be frustrating, and GG is called there. Socke takes game number 1 of this best of 3.